Happy Apple Event Day! iPhone news, iPad news, Apple TV news, Apple Watch news, and more. No, really. It's Wednesday, September 9th, and this is Crunch Report. Well, iPhone event, I guess you could call it that. It's basically more of a let's announce everything but the Mac at this point. And yes, new iPhones are part of the party. Brand new iPhone 6S and 6S Plus models get an additional color to their lineup, rose gold. And that's pretty much it. Just kidding. Apple showed off 3D Touch for the first time. It's sort of the same concept as Force Touch, a Z-axis, if you will, for navigation. So if you 3D touch on an app icon, you can bring up shortcuts to options within that app, like the camera app icon. 3D Touch, hit Take Selfie, and it'll launch the front-facing camera. 3D Touch on a street address, and iOS will pull up a map preview, some handy stuff like that. Third-party apps are already taking advantage of this. For example, with Facebook, you can quickly post a status or preview an image stream with an Instagram without leaving your current page. The iPhone 6S and 6S Plus sport a new A9 chip that's 70% faster than the A8 chip in last year's iPhone 6, and if you like that hands-free "Hey Siri" option, you don't have to be plugged into your power anymore. Touch ID will recognize your fingerprint twice as fast, that's what Apple says anyway, and the rear camera's been bumped up to 12 megapixels with 4K video capability and a 5 megapixel FaceTime camera in front. Let's talk price. iPhones are not cheap, and the new 6S and 6S Plus will come in at the exact same prices and configurations of the 6 and 6 Plus, but now with a new 2-year monthly installment plan starting at $27 to $31 per month. Now, for those of us godforsaken Apple sheep who have to have a new phone every year, we can now get one unlocked with AppleCare for $32 a month tops. Pre-orders start this Saturday, September 12th, and launch date is September 25th. Apple's new OS, which is iOS 9, some of you are already testing it, will launch for everyone on September 16th. And nobody mentioned this on stage, but the company also dropped $100 off the iPhone 5S, 6, 6 Plus, and killed the 5C altogether. Let's move on to the Apple Watch, a device I'm now slightly more convinced I want. Slightly. Facebook Messenger will join the 10,000 Apple Watch apps already in the store. And for you travelers or people shopping for Russian brides, iTranslate now works on the Apple Watch as well. You just speak into the mic, and the app will translate into over 90 different languages, and possibly save your relationship. A new app called Airstrip focuses on healthcare. Doctors can view their patient schedule, receive information sent to them by nurses, hospital staff, stuff like that. Airstrip can also monitor a patient's heart rate or labor contractions, even a baby's heart rate from the Apple Watch itself. 2 new finishes, gold and rose gold, will be the same price as existing sport models, and new band colors include pink, brown, and a spectrum of blues. Finally, Watch OS 2 will launch on September 16th, 1 week from today. But that's not all. After years of speculation, Apple trotted out its iPad Pro, which is a 12.9-inch tablet designed for the power user, somebody who's taking it seriously. It's so big that the width is the same as the height of the iPad Air, so you could run an app full screen, full height, and have another app running next to it. A new A9X chip is 1.8 times faster than the Air's A8X chip, 22 times faster than the original iPad in CPU performance, and 360 times more powerful in the GPU category. You can edit 3 streams of 4K video simultaneously in iMovie, but instead of a big old desktop machine, it's just 6.9 millimeters thick. A new smart keyboard cover will run you $170, and a new stylus called the Apple Pencil, that's really what it's called, will run you $100. It's worth noting that both are sold separately. The iPad Pro has a 10-hour battery life and an 8-megapixel iSight camera, and goes on sale in November, starting at $799 for 32 gigabytes and going up to $1,079 for 128 gigs. It was almost a throwaway mention at the end, but the iPad Mini 4 is also being added to the lineup, same specs as the iPad Air, just in a smaller package. Are you tired yet? Too bad, because now we're going to talk about the new Apple TV, which now streams in HD at 60 frames per second and features voice control, Siri support, universal search, and that much-rumored Apple TV App Store. You can use Siri to pause or fast forward or even jump back a scene or two in whatever you're watching. And Apple TV's new proactive search lets you search for not just movie or TV titles, but weather or restaurant suggestions, everything from apps you've already installed. It's a lot more like iOS now. The new remote control has a touchpad and motion control and a built-in microphone and a dedicated Siri button. It's very cool looking. Last but not least, game control. Built-in accelerometers and a gyroscope on the remote can control games built for the Apple TV. In fact, one of the demos on stage was the absolutely maddening game Crossy Roads. Play it on a big screen if you want to go gray early. By the way, the remote works with Bluetooth 4.0 and the battery lasts 3 months per charge, but you will have to think about charging it a lot more often than the current remotes. The Apple TV ships in October, 32 gig model for $149 and 64 gigs for $199. Okay, I refuse to talk about anything Apple anymore, so let's finish with love. What I mean by love is Tinder, which is testing a new feature called Super Like, which lets users tell a potential match then they more than just like that cute profile picture taken on the top of Machu Picchu or mountain biking or holding a really big fish. Until now, the only way to match on Tinder was via mutual like. You had to swipe right, and then your paramour had to swipe right as well, and then you could move on to the next round of texting each other. Now, if you see the person of your dreams, you can choose to super like their profile, and then they'll get this message that you think that they're just the hottest thing on Tinder. Only one person at a time, though. TechCrunch's Jordan Crook asked Tinder CEO Sean Rad whether or not Tinder might introduce actual filters, like maybe you want a certain height or gender, that sort of thing in the future, and he said, potentially. The Super Like feature is currently testing in Australia with 1 Super Like per user per day unless they upgrade to Tinder Plus. The feature will go live worldwide in a couple of weeks. And that is the report for today. I'm Sarah Lane. Crunch Report airs Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific right here on TechCrunch.com. See you tomorrow.